And about these conversation, no, when you were mentioning that I just wanted to have like good conversation with people. So I was just remembering one conversation with one of my mentors. So his name is Shri Kumar. So whenever we don't usually speak, but whenever we have call, no, so it's more like I just called him for 5 minutes and then we end up talking like for 30, 40, 50 minutes. And it's more like a crash course for me of like something, whatever I'm going through, and we resonate very well. So one day, so we had all these conversations, and then he was mentioning that he and his friend, they were thinking that we'll just come online and we'll have like three people, two, three people conversations just like that.
Yeah.
Without any plan, without any agenda, we'll just come together, we'll have conversations and we'll just put these conversations on YouTube. I was like, why? What? And then he said like, why we want to do that? Because like in earlier when pirates or like people those who were into like people those who used to be in sea, so what they used to do, like they used to put message in a bottle and then throw in the water, and
Mhm.
with that trust that it will reach to the person like whom they want to give the message.
Mm.
So there were nothing earlier, no, like no phones or nothing. So then he was mentioning that I also want to have these conversations and put on YouTube, because you never know like for whom it will be, but it will
Yeah.
reach the right person. You never know.
That's funny. That's how
Uh,
I think too. Yeah.
so when you were mentioning that, I was also thinking that I think it's so meaningful, and you never know
You don't
like
know.
wait for somebody, and it will reach to that the right people, right person, and you.
I believe that. Yeah, I think my thesis is that, especially because of who I work with, the people, they often feel like that they're not following the right path, that they can't do things the way other people do. And my thesis is, so what? Like, everybody has to find their own path. It's a good thing that you don't try to fit into some mold of like, I really admire this person, so I'm going to do exactly what they did. That's not how it works. You got to find for yourself, what do you love to do? What are you good at? What do you have to offer the world? And so the thesis of this podcast is that everybody's path is unique, and that's it. So like, I hope someone listening in is like, yeah, like inspired, but by somebody's story. Like, I hope they're inspired to hear your story, but not so they follow the exact same path you did, but so they're just inspired to maybe find their own path. And that's what I believe with the students I work with, that they shouldn't be trying to fit into a mold. They should be trying to like make their own path that is for them.
Yeah, I agree. But maybe like you never know like who gets that courage. Maybe somebody like they want to do something, and after hearing stories they get that courage. Ki, okay, there are people like us.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. This woman, the last interview I had was a woman who decided to go back to school at age 40 and become a therapist, and she's doing it. And I love that, because I think a lot of people think, if I don't study in college, then I'll never do what I want to do, or I can't change my mind. And I love that, because I hope somebody hears that and goes, I could go back to school at 40 and decide to do something totally different, you know? So it's cool.
Cool. Eh?
Okay, so Manish, I'm so happy to have you on the podcast today and to get to meet you and learn more about you. Before we get started, though, I always love to ask people what gets their attention in terms of like, what are you reading or listening to or watching? Are there things that you're into right now?
So nowadays, so I too never liked reading actually. And student who never liked reading because of school, I think, or maybe teachers. Nowadays, what I am excited about is like organizing a youth camp. So I really wanted to work with teenagers because they have like so much of like I would say like interest and energy to do so many things. So wanted to create a space for them where they can actually listen to their heart and listen to their inner voice. Because in the world, like everybody is there to teach them something, and
Yeah.
to create a space where they just come together, open up, listen to their inner voice, share with their peer like friends or make new friends, and just learn from each other, and also like able to do mistakes or try out things which are close to their heart. And I've been traveling a lot. Travel is also one part. Few months, I think this year 2026 is like, for me is like I'm like traveling like anything. So that's
Fun.
next week. I think I will be starting travel, and then for 2 months I will be traveling all around India.
Oh, wow. How long are you going to be organizing that youth camp in Sikkim?
That will be for 6 days. Kids are coming from these teenagers are coming from all over India.
Yeah.
from different backgrounds. So youth are coming from like organizations or individual family. They're sending their kids. Like the Sikkim kids are also there. So from all around, and so different background, different like culture. People from different culture they are coming,
Yeah.
and we're having a very wonderful team who will be spending time with them. And these team like the mentors are also like that. Those who are master in their field. Some are into like hip hop, some are into beatboxing, rapping, breakdance. Ultimate frisbee is one thing which is American sport which I play and I coach. So they're also like their theater, storytelling. So yeah, so these are the mediums. But idea is
Wow.
just to create a space where these youngsters they feel safe, celebrated, or can try out different things and learn from each other also.
Learn from each other. So where did this start for you? How did you figure out this was something you enjoy doing?
So I think for me, I think my journey started from college. I was studying BTech, mining engineering. So in college, I found myself that I'm a misfit. So I was not able to fit in the academic thing and all. So I always loved like meeting people, connecting people. So in college also, like I made so many friends and I love to spend time with them. But so I was not much into like going to the classes. I was more into like just meeting friends around canteen or things like that. And then also
Yeah.
join like program where we used to have like some kind of social service or something like that. So we have in India National Service Scheme. So through that, I was able to meet more people. So I think my need was to meet people, to connect. So I was in third year. So, and in third year also I met one person. His name is Manish Jain, and he's a founder of a place named Shikshantar, and also like he had started like so many multiple initiatives in India. So I when I met him, so in Shikshantar I found like I met my kind of people, because these
Mm.
were the people like who were also like I met people those who were listening to their heart, working on their interests. And I never seen people like before this like who are actually working on their interest and working like listening to their heart. Because you talk about celebrities, okay, Sachin Tendulkar is like good in cricket, and Lata Mangeshkar is a good singer celebrity in India. But I
Mm.
never seen like people like the normal human being doing their work which is close to their heart. Then the question arises like what I want to do. I never thought about it, what I like to do. Because before that I was just following the normal routine like the school, then the college, and everybody does engineering in India. So I was doing
Yeah.
engineering and I never thought about like what I really wish to do. So
Mhm.
from there my journey started. So I started going more frequently to this place named Shikshantar, and I was attending different kind of workshop there, like theater, sometimes music, sometimes food related, or different kind of thing. And I always enjoyed ice breaking space in that. Like whenever people used to have ice breaking session, so I
Mm.
used to be like the happiest guy because my need was meeting, no? Because I was able to meet people, talk people, make eye contact, smile. So I always loved that. Like for 5 minute icebreaker, I think I could sit for full day in any boring workshop. So then I found, okay, I like these games, activities, and I thought, "Ki, why not should be a place where like we're just playing games, like only ice breaking session." So nobody was doing it. So I just thought of the okay, I can invite my friends in a park and then we can just play a few games. So in engineering, I was doing engineering and I invited my friends like early
Yeah.
morning 30 in a random park.
Yeah.
And I was waiting and nobody came. So I was like, wow. And then I waited, I called, nobody came. And then I thought ki, okay, like there are people in the garden. I can invite them to play with me.
Mm.
So I was knowing few games and I thought I will make them play. And so I invited few kids. I played one game with them. They liked it. So I asked them like, okay, we can invite more friends. Let's make new friends and then we'll play more games.
Wow.
So they all went. I also went and we brought more people. Then again we played. So that's how like slowly like our group like became bigger and bigger. And
Yeah.
started with 5, 6 people and we end up playing like 60 or 70 people like in one
Wow.
garden, just playing, laughing.
Yeah.
So my first like so-called session, which happened like organically, unplanned, and where everybody was laughing, meeting, like they were feeling like we are close friends. So that's how it started. And then they asked me like, okay, we are feeling like you should come every day. I did like every day I can't come, but maybe next Sunday I will come. So when I went there again, So again, there were like already few kids. They brought their friends, cousins, and then we did the same thing. We started with one or two games, then we went out. We asked for more people to join
Mhm.
in, and it became a ritual. Every Sunday we started doing this. Like Sunday morning, 6:30 to 9:30 in the garden. I was coming. Kids were coming. Sometimes some new kids were coming. Sometimes like nobody was there. So it became like a ritual. I'll just go. I'll invite strangers to play these games, and we'll just
Yeah.
keep playing for 3 4 hours. So my whole, and I have done this for many years, like from 2011, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So all these years, every Sunday morning, I was in park just to
Wow.
play. So I learned so many games from like kids also. I designed so many games. And wherever I used to go, I used to just think like, okay, I learned whenever I experience something which I could just maybe modify or design some interesting activity and put my flavor into it. So design like so many games, and that's how the journey started. And my whole learning, facilitation, everything was like self-taught in the park. So
Wow.
course, and started holding space and learn through scratch because when I started these games and all, no, so I also found that nobody liked going out, because when you play any game and if somebody goes out, means like if you somebody is not able to do something and then you
Oh, they get tagged out, you mean? Oh, I see. Yeah.
so then they don't come back, they go home because they feel okay, like we are judged now, that we are not able to do something, or maybe I'm not that smart or something. There the idea came about like non-competitive games, creating games where nobody is like going out, nobody is left behind, and how everybody can be part of the circle, part of the team, and still we can have fun. So
Mm.
that's how these non-competitive games idea came, and people started knowing me for non-competitive games. Yeah, so it started from the part so I started calling it Game-a-Thon. So like you must have heard marathon, cyclothon. So this is like the Game-a-Thon where like you're just coming together, playing for like hours. And even if like you know somebody or not knowing somebody, but everybody is like feeling safe around each other, comfortable around each other. People are like opening up. Like after the circle, we used to have circle time where we
Mhm.
just sit in the garden. We talk about like, okay, how was it? What do you really like? What do you really enjoy it? So these kind of sessions like started happening. So from
Mm.
there, the journey started, and organically, it like people started calling me for different things. Like they started calling me, somebody saying, "Okay, we have a birthday party at our home, so can you
Mm.
come for the game?" I said, "Like I can come." So I went there, and then I played, and then they asked like, "Acha, how much?" I said like, "How much? Like somebody can pay for the games also." I said,
Wait, I could get paid for this?
I said like whatever you want to give, like you just give me. So sometime like they gave me small token. And also I was struggling because for many years I was doing this, but I was not knowing that how I will sustain,
Yeah.
because my engineering got finished in like just 2011 and 12,
You
and
finished the degree.
finished the degree, but
Okay.
degree is in college only. I never went to take the degree out. That because I needed to face my lecturers, my teachers, and all. I just thought I will not go there. They will ask
Yeah.
like, "What are you doing?" I will say them, "Acha, I'm just making people play games."
Non-competitive games in the park.
They say like how you will sustain and all these. You want to like keep running away from these conversations.
Uh,
They start giving you suggestions. So it started like that. From 2000 like 15 like 16 17, like people started calling me for different occasions. Like some they started calling me in school, you come and do something with their kids. Some they started calling me for teachers. Some they started calling me in their employees in corporate. Sometimes they like, and if you talk about today, you just name it, I work with them, like corporates, organizations, schools,
mm,
colleges,
mm,
youth,
mhm.
Indian Army, like IAS, commissioner. So I work with doctors, lawyers, families, and I'm still doing the same, like which I started doing like in 2011, just bringing people together using game and these dances and all. And people love these space because I think the core need was to what I found, people like being in these space because they are seen,
Yeah.
they feel celebrated. So for many years I was looking for a definition also, like what I actually do. So in one of our conversation with one of my mentor friends, like so he mentioned that Game-a-thon is a ceremony. Actually, it's not a just games and activities, more like a ceremony where people actually meet their higher self, where the
Mm.
people actually meet their higher version, and you tap their like where they are feeling celebrated, they are feeling seen, heard, and acknowledged and accepted as they are. Nobody is correcting them. Nobody is telling them like you are good or bad or smart or slow or anything. So without any label, without any judgment, you're just creating space where they are just being what they are. And I also found, oh wow, that's a very beautiful thing that people are feeling like that.
Yeah. Well, so much of what you've said, what was running through my mind was like, there's just a humanity to it of people being seen as just to experience being human, because sometimes, like, whether it's a school system or a job system, we don't always feel like we're human beings in those. We can sometimes feel like we're a part of a machine and we're supposed to like not have the full spectrum of emotions and thoughts that come with just being liberated as a person, a unique person. This is so validating, I would imagine. Um, that people walk away from these experiences feeling like validated as a human being. Yeah.
And also, I also feel because especially in India, so we have like lots of judgment or for people from different background and all. And
America too.
yeah, everywhere actually.
Everywhere.
Especially when, like when people were coming for these games and all, no. So you don't have any kind of hierarchy of maybe anything like for caste or religion or
Yeah.
and good thing is games are like that simple thing which everybody loved in their childhood. So everybody is able to meet their child, their inner child also, like when they are playing. And the inner child, like because when you are like child, so you are like purest in your purest form also because
Mm.
don't have labels, don't have like limitation, don't see like you see world in different space when you're a child. And everything is possible for you. But when you grow up, then you have like so many layers of like societies and so many of labelings, and then you are like you become like an onion where you are like layered, you are stuck.
Yeah. Like yeah. That's a
And when
good way
you're
of saying it.
and when you're playing these games, so
Mhm.
you're actually unmasking yourself and you're also like unlayering like your things like slowly and you're feeling comfortable. And then when actually like people meet their inner child, then like that's a like celebration for them. Okay, oh, this is me. And this is a like Manish. This is like Manish. It's not like Manish who is engineer or Manish who is like father or Manish who is like mother or anything. So they actually meet themselves and fully accepted as they are because
Yeah.
nobody's because wherever you go, like people start correcting you. Okay, you should do that. You should do this. Things should be like this. And in these 3 hours, nobody made you feel okay. You should do that or this or that. You're just playing, laughing, connecting, and everybody is like they're feeling comfortable with each other. And I have seen people like for coming to these sessions when they were not knowing each other, their body language was different. Like the way what they're talking, more rigid or more intro kind of person. And in just 2 hours, like everybody's like talking to each other and like feeling so comfortable, opening up. I have seen people like getting overwhelmed, crying also like after the session. They were laughing for 3 hours and then suddenly started crying because they never felt these kind of space in their life where they feel safe like this or feeling connected to each other. Then I found when because I was also and like lots of people also ask like why you started doing these and like how you decided. I said like I never decided anything. I was just trusting my journey. I was just listening to my heart. Okay, this is my need and I want to do this. My need was to be in these kind of spaces, and I was not able to find these kind of space where I can be what I am, where I can be like seen or heard or things like that. Because in college, everybody was like after, okay, how many marks you have, what you want to become. Nobody is actually meeting Manish as a person. Nobody was not interested also to know me as a person. Everybody was
Mhm.
like, so what do you want to do? What is your aim? What you will be doing in future? Where you will be working, things like that. And I thought like genuinely is nobody's interested like knowing you. And while in these games or sessions and all, so people when people like connect heart to heart, so they were actually interested in knowing you as a person. And without label also like they were had this feeling, okay, I know this person very well. So for me, like so there was I didn't find these kind of space. So I started creating these kind of spaces.
Yeah.
So that was the like one beautiful like I always say like I didn't wait for superhero. I just started creating spaces because I only became like superhero Otherwise, you wait for somebody to come and do things for you. So I just started doing, and it turned well for me. It unfolded very well for me. Like people also started liking, suggesting to different places and all. And I never planned that I will be doing this for my
Yeah.
whatever I'm doing right now. So it started from the games, and then I started working from different kind of groups also. Like I started working with schools. I started working in education. So I started working with teachers, youth, and corporates a lot. Like lots of corporates, they started inviting me for team building, for like for their leadership and all.
Yeah.
So like these families, they started inviting me because they wanted to do different things. So I
Yeah.
started few initiatives also. So like family learning journey for like the family, like they want to spend there. So it's more like a parent-child bonding thing. So we also started doing youth leadership journeys. We started doing corporates like for their leadership journeys and all. So it's very difficult also for me sometimes to what I do to explain to people because sometimes people say, "Acha games like okay, you make people play games." I said, "No, no, no, not only games, I do much more, but it's hard to explain." So in one line, I started saying that now, like I love creating space, like experiential learning space where people learn from each other, where people listen to their inner voice, and also like people are able to, I would say, like needful experiences I design. So as per their need, I listen to their need, and like listening to their need, and then I design experience for them. So how they can actually try out things.
Yeah.
So, and fully experiential because I never liked anything sitting in classroom and reading about something. So I create experiential like where they are able to connect to nature, they are able to connect to self, they are able to connect to people around. So that's my work is like that.
Yeah. My goodness. So it just kind of evolved as you created a space you knew was missing. Um, that feels very brave. Can you identify how you were able to break out of, we're all conditioned by our cultures to think in certain ways and behave in certain ways. What gave you the confidence to think outside of what you've been conditioned to think?
For me, I think we always have fears. I also had like fears. In India, so much into know like we have like everybody is having same routine. Like we all go to school, we do college, then either like become engineer or doctor or CA or few things like that. So everybody is like very monotonous. Nobody think about like leaving that space and trying out something because everybody has fear. So for me, what worked and what gave me courage or confidence is like I think the community and like the people like I have met in Udaipur, Rajasthan when I met like Manish and like my mentor and the place Ikshantar. Because when I went there, then I found my kind of people. Okay, these are the people. So there are people like those who are following their heart, like working on things which make them feel alive or
Mhm.
make them feel good, and which is good for like humanity or nature or self. Because
Mhm.
otherwise, like on the other side, everybody was running after money, 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 and they don't care about nature. They don't care about humanity. They are just there. What they are care about is like this money thing, and I was feeling misfit into that. And before like meeting these people, I was also not knowing that okay, this kind of world also exists. Community people are also there. That community actually gave me a courage. Either like they were not giving me anything like in transition or anything like that, but I think just being there like was helping me a lot. So I was
Yeah.
able to share my feelings there. I was able to talk to them. I was able to talk about my dreams. So I didn't have like big dreams, but small dreams like at that time what I wished to do. And they were also ready to do. Let's go to the garden, let's make them play, let's do this, let's do that. Tried out different things. So games are one thing which I tried that time. I was also into cycling. So I started doing like cycle marathon, cycling events where people are coming together in cycling. I got introduced to ultimate frisbee, which was American sport. And I was like, it was very new in India. So I also started doing that. So my parents, my family, like they were saying, like I think he's confused because sometimes he's cycling, sometimes he's doing frisbee, sometimes he says, "Yeah, I want to play games." So I think he's confused. He doesn't know what he want to do. And I was sharing with them, Acha. And I also started feeling, I think I am confused. And then later on, I figured out that I'm not confused. I'm actually clarity. These are the mediums, like the games, the cycling thing, the frisbee thing, and the core thing is I want to bring people together where they feel safe, where they feel connected to self and to others. And I'm using all these things as a medium only. And my real
Mhm.
is just to bring people together where they start feeling safe, where they start feeling opening up, And also they start thinking, okay, I can do this, I can do that, things like that. So these were days become the medium or a tool. My real goal is just to bring people together, make them connect, make them feel safe, just to create a space where they can do mistakes, they can try out things, where they talk about ideas, where they go crazy, go mad. Okay, I want to do this. Let's try. Let's try it out, or something like that.
It sounds like you're creating like actual learning environment, like maybe what schools should be. That would be fun to talk about another time. But I want to ask you, like from where you started Sunday in the park to now working with governments and working with the Indian Army and working with schools and families, what are some of the insights that have changed the way that you structure these games? Like, are there things that you've really learned along the way that have changed the way you approach it? Or is every situation kind of unique and you approach it with fresh eyes?
So for me, I think so. One is, so when I see, because I never planned anything before. For me is like, so even if I was knowing like 5 games, I just made people play these 5 games for like thousands of times. Like wherever I went, and then I was just doing the game, same game again and again and again. And from there, like I also started knowing like how people respond on that.
Okay.
So for me, it was like very intuitive, like seeing people's energy, seeing their energy and excitement and everything. I was also preparing myself. So my learning was like happening very organically, very
Mm.
because I didn't make much plan. And slowly, slowly, what I started doing, I started understanding the need of people. So, example, like if I when I worked with corporate, so their need was like they all work in a team and they want to, because and they have so much of stress also, and they're working but they don't know each other. They're just working, 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 and then they have conflict, they have differences. So I
Mhm.
found like their need is to really like become a good team. And then I said, okay, if they will play these games, if they will connect, they will listen to each other, they will connect, they will start feeling safe with each other. So the team will be better. So that's how I end up working in corporates. When I did these games with like the government employees, so in government employees, like they are very secure because government job, so they're not afraid of leaving their job, or but they have so much of stress of like, because when they work in teams, so everybody is like in their own world, or sometimes they have so much of pressure from the government or in their workspace.
Yeah,
So for them, these games worked as a stress buster.
I see.
When I did these games with the families, so for them it became like okay, it's a bonding time with their families, because lots of time families come together but they don't know what to do. Either they watch movies, either they just dance in the party or something like that, but not really they have meaningful conversation, or like really really playing, or all these generation are, because in the family like all 3 generation come together and they don't know what to do, like where everybody is involved. So these games worked as like where all 3 generation were coming together, playing, connecting and all. So that's how I was learning, I was trying out. So I was just learning parallelly and
Yeah.
trying out. So my method was just try out and reflect and learn and then again try out. So I kept going like that, and I end up like working with different kind of. So when I worked with like schools, teachers especially, so in teacher also they have like they want to, because they always have like a syllabus, you need to finish this syllabus or you need to finish, you have so many tasks, but
Mhm.
nobody actually hear them, see them. And they constantly work with like different class kids, and like nobody celebrate them whatever they're doing. So I started creating space where like they feel celebrated, they feel like what they're doing, and also how they can take all these games, activities, learnings in like in their classroom also. So how the classroom also can become joyful learning space, because when you bring these things to the class, then your relationship with your kids will also improve. So that's how it like happened very very organically, not planned in a way, but I was just trusting the journey. I was just like going with the flow. Whoever was calling me, I was just trying it out and kept reflecting, and then like end up like that.
I mean, it strikes me that you're approaching it like a game,
Yeah, yeah, it's
right?
more like yeah.
Right? That's so cool. I like a non-competitive game, but it sounds too like, so the way you describe the different needs of the different groups that you've worked with, a lot of psychology, not necessarily formal study of it, but there's so much psychology in what you said in terms of understanding people's needs and creating space for them to explore how to meet those needs for themselves and then even replicate it, like with the way you describe with teachers, like you're showing them, you're modeling for them what they can then model in their classrooms. So it's such a beautiful way to learn.
Whenever we think about any games and all, no, so lots of people like, because everybody, they want some outcome from the games or learning from the game. And I was like always like, why you can't just play for the like, for not getting anything out of it, just to play without like labeling or without any outcome, or just play. So my intent was like that, but everybody like look for learning, look for outcome and all. So I started designing those also. But for
Okay.
me, it was more like a outcome, need-based outcome. I was thinking, because sometimes I go with like with some plan. Okay, this will be the outcome of the session, but people's need is different at that time. So I just listen to the need like which is alive right now and just play around that, and that's why like people celebrate and people like. Otherwise,
Yeah.
if the need is different, you are telling them something else, then the connection is not there.
So you're measuring outcomes by needs being met or having an experience that meets needs. That's
Uh,
smart.
so
Yeah.
one for like for all the session for me is like uh people should feel celebrated, because everybody like to get celebrated. Everybody like to be seen also. And in this like world, like we are like everybody's labeling each other, because we are working. When we work together, then we have so many of judgments also for each other, but we don't really talk about like really like getting to know or knowing each other. So that space I started creating. So games was one as a tool only, and then I started
Yeah.
more activities where people are also talking to each other, having conversation other than work or things like that, putting all these kind of activities also into my game.
Oh, to like guide conversations?
A guided conversation, like simple, very, very simple things. Like imagine like if we are talking like, okay, what's your what you are celebrating nowadays? Like just simple
Hmm.
con like what you
Hmm.
are enjoying nowadays. Nobody talk about it. Like sometimes people say, Acha, what I'm enjoying nowadays? I don't know.
I've noticed that because I start the podcast with the question of what are you interested in? And for some people, it's like, I don't know. I don't have time to think about that, you know?
Talking about work, that I'm doing this nowadays.
I got a promotion at work. It is funny because you're in some ways like when I used to work in preschool, elementary school, really little kids, they don't need to be taught how to play games. But what we do teach them is how to follow the rules of the game. And that becomes like this early blueprint for follow the rules for school, follow the rules for your career, follow the rules for family. And what you're doing is getting back to that, just the play, like play without projected outcomes or without there's purpose in play alone without needing to have more, more of those things. And I know that we talk about like rules because that's how we have to behave, but that's the conditioning. That's what's like trying to mold people to be more alike than different. And so that is what can dampen or hide the person's individuality. Like that's where it starts to get kind of covered, and you're like lifting that back off of like, okay, but who are you without all those rules? It's really like profound work, really deep. This has
And
got
I
to be life altering for people.
And also, I found when while I was playing these games and all, no, I also felt that so everything is like I started seeing things as a like game, and so many times we feel stuck. We feel okay, I can do this, I can't do that, and I started telling people that if you change the few rules of the game will be different.
Yeah.
Just play around. Otherwise, like all the time you feel stuck. Okay, I can't do this, I can't do that, because in society we have these rules, that rules, or things like that.
Yeah.
So
And
we need to like
yeah,
just
there's a card game that I made up. It's a non-competitive card game. And every time I've made a new friend or in a situation where I'm like, do you want to learn this game? It's so hard for people to understand that we're not competing because every game that they've played has been there's a winner or a loser. And in this card game, the goal is that you finish at the same time. Because of the rules of the game, that happens a lot. Because anyway, I don't want to get into the explaining it, but there's a high probability that that will happen. as long as you don't try to block the other person, like if you work cooperatively. And it's so funny because kids get it right away, but adults are just like,
Yeah.
what do you mean I'm not trying to get you out? Wait, why would I be trying to help you? Because I'm going to help you and then we'll get there together. It's so interesting. Yeah. How difficult that is later in life because everything is set up, like you were saying. It's like you're supposed to be following a certain path, and there's a winners and there's losers. And you're centering this about connection and meeting needs and seeing yourself more clearly, or like finding that inner child.
And also, like, because when you're sharing this, no, so I'm also reflecting, like, I also face so much of challenge when people ask, okay, like, which game you will like make us play. So first thing is, like, I don't have any names for so many games because they're designed by me, or so I just say, I explain them, okay, this, that, and then they say, like, okay, nobody will go out, nobody will win, and nobody lose. So then what will be the fun? I like, what? I think the fun will be like coming together, connecting with each other, and we never
Playing.
like this, because for game means like you need to beat somebody, you need to make somebody like tease or put down, or make them like, okay, okay, so we are the like the best, or things like that. And if it's
Right.
not happening, then what will be the fun? So lots of people, like, they have this thing, so it's very hard to explain sometimes. Like in non-competitive games also you can have fun, and even if in the room, if there are 100 people, 200 people, 300 people, and nobody is going out and everybody is involved at the same time. So there's a magic of these non-competitive games, so where people, like, okay, they are coming together. So they are actually experiencing, like, we always, so I always also say people, like, everybody know everything nowadays through Google or social media, or but what is missing is like the experience, because everybody talk about like oneness, everybody talk about trust, everybody talk about like the connection and all, but they forget like how it feels to become one. So I try to create that space where they start feeling one through these simple activities where everybody is feeling space for each other. So that's the beauty of these non games.
Yeah. And I noticed too I mean, this is just one little game that I can point to in my life of this card game, but the look on someone's face when we both end up putting our last cards down at the same time is so joyful. And you're like, that's it. Now, because I think so much of what you're saying too, people have to experience it to understand it. Because you've mentioned a couple times, sometimes it's hard to explain this. And it's because you're doing things that are not typical experiences outside of early childhood. So people forget about it, or they've even had their brains warped to think that fun is winning. And that's actually not true at all. Actually, it's really fun to lose, but it's even more fun to just be in a space to play together and where there's no winning, losing, but experiencing. And we don't have enough of that in this world. Oh my gosh, you not stumbled because you made this, you're making a space that's so needed in the
And
world.
game only, like, to actually learn about like the life and about yourself, or like you are able to also see that how conditioned we are. I'll give you a very small example. Like, everybody must have like you must have played this game, chair game, musical chair game,
Yeah, yeah. Mhm.
chairs, and then
And
music
then
is
someone is fighting over, it's like teaching how to fight over resources, right?
yeah. So for the resources, and in the end, like, there is one person like who wins, and before that, like, sometimes you break the chair also, sometimes people fall,
They
things
fall,
like
they hurt. Yeah.
hurt or things like that. So what we also did is like, okay, okay, so we'll play this again, the same game, but this time the game rule will be changed, and we'll change one rule, that is like music will be played, chairs will be like each round chairs will be removed, but everybody has to sit. They started sharing chairs. They
Sharing chairs.
on their laps, or like, okay, you come, you sit, and that's from there like the fun start, like everybody start laughing, everybody's like giggling, or everybody's like feeling comfortable with each other. Before, everybody was fighting about like your space, and now the game changes, like, okay, now it's about like, okay, come this side, come there, come sit with me, let's share, let's connect, like, just come closer. So you just change one rule and the whole energy shifted. So that's the beauty of like, you just change the game, and then you see like, you change the rule, and then you see like how different energy it is. And in the
Yeah.
end, like, they don't feel like having chair. Everybody is like so comfortable. They are sitting, okay, let's sit on the ground. Or and also sometimes even if you like make them feel okay, nobody's going out. Okay, because everybody is now like able to sit. But I also have seen sometimes still people are going in the same direction, like round and round. Even if they know that nobody is going to go out, still they are so conditioned that they are feeling that, okay, we will lose. Like inside they have anxiety and they just want to run after a chair. Okay, just let me grab a chair and then so I can sit. And I ask them like, what you're doing? Music, nobody's going out. Listen to the music, dance now. You can dance. Why you are in a of like holding chair? You will get a place to sit. You can just dance. And they say that time they reflect, oh, okay, nobody's going out, and then we actually can celebrate also. Like this a nice music. Why we are in stress? Because you're conditioned like that. Because you always have, okay, somebody will be like you're in monotonous routine. I have played games in which when I say them, okay, you need to walk in different direction, and when I put some instruction into it, everybody start again like going round and round or going like in the same direction, or organically it start happening. So these are the like the learning things, the reflection I started creating through these games, like how we are, how we behave. Look at yourself, like how you behave, like when you have when you are under pressure, or even if the pressure is removed, still you are like feeling that you are stuck.
This is making me think of you know, Jane Goodall, was a primate scientist in the 20th century, went on expeditions to Africa to study primates. And she was like, she really changed the way that these kinds of scientists observe animals because the way they were observing them before was not good. But there's a specific example that reminds me of how we are the same as primates, like we behave in the same ways. So this is not her thing, but she noticed that like one of the male scientists wanted to explore how primates share resources. And so the way they set up the experiment was they started going to a particular part of the forest and just dumping a whole lot of bananas and food. That doesn't happen naturally. So already the experiment's kind of weird because that's not what they would have encountered. But what they noticed was that once they started dumping these bananas every day, there started to be certain primates that would start hoarding bananas when they had never done that before.
Yeah.
And then a war broke out between them. Now they were fighting each other over the bananas, whereas before, when they were just all going out, all on different trees, finding food, sharing food. And the reason I bring this up is because I think it's a great example of how the rules really shape our behavior. And the way that you just described, you know, people were still sort of holding on to that competitive musical chairs. But once they got to see that there was no fight to be had and that they could just dance and enjoy themselves, I think human beings are naturally loving and cooperative. And I think that we do things to ourselves that diminishes that ability. And you're like bringing it back. You're like, stop with that banana hoarding stuff. Let's go back to like playing. And that's such a healthier way to live. Your examples too of this play, it doesn't sound like it takes very long for people to now adjust to the new rules. And now they're like, oh, this is nice. I want to do more of this. How quickly our conditioning can be changed. So it's a hopeful thing.
I also have seen in sessions and all, when you actually start trusting people, giving them safe space. So I have also seen like people are more responsible, more accountable. They want to give their best, other than otherwise. Like when you're in competitive, like few people they just want to prove themselves, and then few people they don't want to participate also in competitive games. I have seen in corporates, so many times people don't want to participate because they know like, yeah, I will be judged, so they don't feel like participating because they have attended previous trainings where like they just don't want to participate. Then few and two people they only participate. So in my session I have seen like people started feeling like they started participating more because they felt safe. They felt, okay, now here nobody will judge us. We'll be just together doing things. So for everybody is kind of learning also. For some time, like people say, like I also experienced sometime, they say, okay, we are very good team. You will have fun with us. And I was like, I'm afraid of that.
Why? Why?
Because what will happen if I'll do something? I know if there are 40 people, like five, six people will be very, very, very enthused, and they are always want to be like, okay, yay, we are the like best kind of people. And what they miss say, because I have make them play game. So what they actually miss is like holding space for others. They are so enthused, they are so into themselves, then they forgot about like other people in their team. So that happens, and that I make them see through a game only, because these non-competitive games, it comes with like space holding for each other.
What does that look like? Can you give an example?
So, example, I'll give you example of a game. So in which like I'll tell you like I make them stand in a circle, like 40, 50 people, and I tell them the game is you all need to sit down. And now that like the how the game you will be playing, like you only like one person can sit at one time. So like one person will sit, and then somebody else will sit, then somebody else, then somebody else. That's how like it will be like a popcorn, and then
Mhm.
in like everybody has to sit down. That's the game. And now the thing is, when one person is sitting, so right after that, the next person will not sit. So if I'm sitting, then my left like person standing next.
Oh, wait, it can't go in a perfect circle.
It can't
Okay,
go in
yeah.
a circle or sequence. So it should be popcorn only. And if more than one person will sit together, so everybody has to stand up. Then the game will restart. And now, like few rules. One is you can't talk, you can't make any plan, you can't like you can't make any strategy, you can't do any gesture or anything like just to like nod or something. You just need to play just like that, just while watching only, without doing any movement or different kind of movements or hint or anything. So for people is like, and people are getting excited, okay, let's play, and everybody starts sitting, and then like they do like one person set, and then suddenly two people sit down, then again they need to stand up. So they try it like 20, 30, 40 times, and then they're not able to do it. And then I ask them like, okay, why you think like why you're not able to do it? And then everybody is like, they start blaming each other. Okay, that person is sitting again and again, and then like this person is sitting, this person is not watching. So nobody is talking about that. Okay, when that person was sitting, I was also sitting with them. I'm not seeing my mistake. I'm just started blaming that other person that, okay, he was sitting with me. But if you see through that person perspective, like I was also sitting with that person. So I make them realize, okay, how we start blaming in this game. It's the same game. And then I ask them also like how we can actually like I ask them like what were the problem. So I ask problems, and then I say like how we can make it work for us. And then they start reflecting, okay, how we can actually sit, how we can. So everybody like start putting again strategy and all. But I ask them like, okay, this game is not about you, because everybody is doing like, okay, I need to sit, I need to sit, I need to sit, I need to sit. This game is all about we need to hold space for each other. Let other people sit. When your time will come, you will also be able to sit. So that's how I tell them like how to hold space for others. Because holding space, lots of people they talk about, okay, we need to take care of each other, we need to hold space for each other, but nobody knows like what it feels like holding space for each other. So
Yeah.
games, how we can actually like just create space for others, and I will also get my space when the time will come. So sometimes it comes like quickly, sometimes it come later, but it will come. So how we can be intuitive, sensitive about people around us. So that
Yeah.
kind of things I make them reflect through games, because it
Yeah.
stay. Also, I could make them play so many mind games, but what I had chosen is like games which involve movement,
Yeah.
because I also felt that when you do movement, so your head, heart, and hand, I would say, like, because like you're fully there, your heart is also there because it's exciting. And then when you're moving, then you are also like in movement, holding hands, and you're connecting. So you're into the present.
Yeah.
This experience is memorable for you. If one
Mhm.
edge is missing, if you're not moving, imagine. So one hand, example like hand is missing. Your head is there, your heart is there, but you're not moving. So the experience not be memorable. Like it will be just okay, Tika, you have felt something. If you are moving, your heart is there, but your mind is somewhere else. Still, you will be like this experience is not memorable. If your head is there, you're moving, but your heart is somewhere else. Still, that experience is not like memorable for you. So I started creating like game in a way where these three H comes in sync, where they are like laughing, they are feeling excited, mentally they are there, they're in moment. So when you move, like whole energy is like change.
Yeah.
So that's why I started using more moment based game, more music based game,
Yeah.
like more into like where you using voice or things like that.
Wow.
Yeah. So I talk about these small things like space holding, acceptance, oneness, trust, and I make them feel through games only. Talk about it, but nobody knows about it like how it feels.
Yeah.
Everybody talks about oneness, but I like nobody knows like how it feels to be one. And like in multiple circles, 600, 700 people are dancing together, coming together. That's the feeling of like being one. Like
Wow.
everybody is sing, everybody like nobody is judging, nobody is good or bad, or like nobody is weak, nobody is smart. Everybody is like accepted as they are. So that's the like feeling of being one. Like come together for something together.
Yeah.
So uh, so yeah, so because we live in a world where if you dance, then you go on stage and then you need to perform very well.
The best. Yeah.
And so we do things in circle more where like nobody's like best or good or what. Everybody is like comfortable, everybody is accepted as they are.
Do you participate too?
Fully, completely, because I though like being in this space and I play each and every game in my session. It's not like that, okay, I'm telling them, okay, you do this and I'm standing or talking or watching. I'm
Yeah.
participating in all the games.
I figured.
Yeah. For me, it's like fun.
And what you were just describing with that example of the sitting down, popcorn sitting, just the word that was coming to mind was integrated. Like you're integrating all the parts of being human, like you said, your head and your heart and your body all together. And so, of course, people remember that because that's what learning is. That's learning.
And also, through you, I was also reflecting because I meet so many parents and they have so much of labelings for their kids also. Like they
Yeah.
say, okay, my kid is like shy, my kid is like introvert, or he's extrovert. Sometimes like they start saying like, okay, he is like too hyperactive. He's like ADSD also, something like that. They start saying, and I was like, what do you think? Like, what I am? I asked them. They say like, you are extrovert. I said like, I am introvert at so many places when I don't feel safe there, when I feel that okay, if I whatever I will speak, nobody will hear me, or maybe I will be judged, so I don't speak there. And then for people it's like completely like they say, they think okay, Manish like he's introvert, I think, and it's not like that. So everybody is like introvert, everybody is like extrovert, but they all look for their kind of people where they feel safe to talk, they are not judged. And we are the people like we start judging like too soon. And I also started sharing stories about like we are like too quick in judgment, that we sometimes we forget like how much the potential anyone can have. Because I have been the one who never went on stage in my school life or in college. So whenever I went on stage, like I made fun of me all the time. Like everybody was laughing on me. Like even in school, like when I was in fourth standard or ninth standard, or then I tried in college. Then I was like, then I started feeling that I'm not made for like stage. But now, if you see my journey, I'm mostly on stage, and people see like I'm so confident, so like extrovert or things like that. So what changed is like when I experience space where I feel safe, so my connection with myself became stronger. Like I don't need to perform for anybody. So I still have fears. I always have fear when I go for my session, I go on stage. But when I do my first activity or second activity, that is all about like creating safe space for myself. The moment I do that, then I am like all over the place. Then the session is mine, then the people are mine. Then I go crazy because I start feeling safe. Then I'm not, I know that I'm not judged here. And then the people say like, okay, you are so confident, you're amazing, you're this, you're that.
I just want to say I love that you start by making the space safe for yourself. And then that in turn makes it safe for others. And now you have a shared space together. That's genius.
Agree, because I'm also nervous, no, when I'm going stage. Because when I walk on stage, so and before each session, actually, I'm nervous, and I become that kid who was in fourth standard or ninth standard when like people made fun of me. So I to reach there. The moment I start thinking about stage or going to the new
Yeah.
crowd,
Yeah.
the moment I create that space for myself, then like the connection is made for like with myself. I also experienced in few sessions when I felt that people like they don't want to do whatever I'm doing, then because they're not feeling that connection with me, or they are in their own world, they don't like care about anybody else. Because I
Yeah.
meet those kind of people also in some sessions. So especially in some corporates, like people are so into team building activities, and then they don't want to do anything. They just want to party in the evening. And before that, my session is there or go, but they don't feel like doing these kind of things because they feel like we are the smarter people, we are the smartest. So they are already in headspace. And that time I feel very like discomfort also because I'm not able to create that safe space sometimes.
That makes a lot of sense.
So yeah, so it happened like very, very few times, not much, because I go with very like simplicity, authenticity. So people like love connecting.
Yeah. I think your intuitive approach, though, probably allows you more flexibility to adapt to like the tone of the room. So, like, I would imagine if you're noticing that sort of tension, that you maybe go a different way to try to manage that group. So, it's probably good not to have like a super rigid agenda because every group is going to be a little different, have a different flavor to it, needs different things. Because, like, the need of an individual and the need of a group are not the same things. And you have to, on your feet, figure that out.
I would say like everything make a like plays a role. Like imagine like one is like who all are the participants. That's one thing. Second, where we are doing the session, like how the kind of space is open or is shaded or it's
Mm.
comfort or not comfort, and how is their like how's their day going also, like since morning or maybe like is the session is in first half or second half or like they're already tired and then having session in the evening. So everything
Yeah.
plays so like how their energy is. So what I try to do is like listen to their like where they are right now. First meet them where they are. Then I do this journey with them. Then only I am able to like move with them. Otherwise, like if I have something in mind which I make them want to make them do, and they are in another world, the like the connection is not made. And then they
Yeah.
like feeling like okay, restless or maybe not being with me, don't want to do things with me. So I try to meet first thing, like meet them as a person. And like for me is very important context setting also for the session. So whenever I start my session, I always talk to them like who I am, what the kind of things I've been doing, why I'm here, what I'm like also going to offer today, and what my invitation are from you. And then if we are coming together, then the journey will be beautiful. Otherwise, if I don't want to come in a space where I need to force you for something, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. Because I'm not personally, I'm not that kind of person. Nobody like being forced, no, nobody like being forced. Like everybody want to feel free. So I invite them for like genuinely like with heart space. I invite them. Okay, this is something which you might like. I'm not sure that you like or not, but I enjoyed this. You also try it. If you like it, then we'll continue. We'll do things. So lots of people like they say, okay, what they find is like, okay, authenticity, I think,
Yeah.
uh, genuineness, so, like when I share with people. So they also like open up, okay, to try out because nobody
Yeah.
is, especially nobody likes where somebody is teaching them. Nowadays, like nobody likes like, okay, somebody is teaching. The teaching means like, okay, somebody knows a lot and you don't know.
That's right. That's right. That's the hierarchy you're trying to eliminate through play. Yeah.
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 I just okay, whatever I am, like there are 200 people. I know I always say like I will not be able to teach you something today. I just create experience, and if you are able to like learn something or experience something or any feeling you feel like, just share with us, and then we all will be having like different kind of perspective. So that
Yeah.
they create, and that they feel magical. Okay, we are feeling comfortable that you were not teaching us, you were just creating experience, and then we were learning from each other by
Learning
listening.
from
Yeah,
Yeah, that's so powerful. We need so much of that. And like you were saying, meet people where they are, offer them choices, invite them into the space, be clear about your authentic purpose and reason for being there, what you want from people, which is not anything from them, but for them. And that it's like a gift. Once they see that it's a gift, I bet they're really on board with it, that feeling. I want to ask you if there are particular insights that you've learned about human behavior from doing this now for about 15 years, is that right?
so for me, I think one thing is like they start, like they set up a connection with themselves. One thing because they
Mm.
start feeling more connected to themselves, and the moment it happens, like they're more open to try out different things or experiment different things. And when they feel the power of community or connection, they also like start like thinking about their dreams or things they want to try out, which was left behind. Because in this whole competitive world, everybody is like running after money or doing things all the time or proving themselves all the time. So they forgot about what what was their dreams or what they wanted to do, what they like doing, and all those things. So I've seen especially after being in these kind of sessions, they start
Yeah.
feeling more connected more to self, to people around. So that kind of behavior I have felt shifted. Their body language changed. They start expressing more. Even they start sharing those things which they don't share in their in their with their friends or sometimes in their families, or because here they start feeling okay, these are the people where I'll not be judged, where I'll not be corrected or or getting advice all the time. I think
Hmm.
just they will accept me as I am. So that kind of space actually turn into sometime these kind
Mm.
of behavior I noticed after playing these kind of games.
Yeah. I want to ask you what you love about this work and what brings you energy and joy, and what does this fulfill for you?
So for me, I think when I see smiles, when people are smiling and they're laughing their heart out, that is the best feeling for me. That time I feel, oh wow, this is nothing is precious than this. But it's amazing feel of when people are actually laughing, celebrating, and sometimes I have seen people they. I remember in one of my session, one of the lady now she's friend, she suddenly sat down and and then she started holding from here, and then she's like, I can't laugh much now. Because she was so much into stress, I think, before it, that her muscles started paining when she laughed for
Oh,
two, two, 2 hours continuously, because she forgot to laugh this much. Okay,
yeah.
how somebody can laugh for 2 3 hours continuously? That kind of experience, and so it happens. I was like, wow, this is magical. And so I never thought about big things. For me, it was very simple. If people laugh, if people start sharing, talking, for me, that make me feel okay. Oh, this my work is done here. Because people are more comfortable now. People are friends now. People have somebody to talk to each other easily. I feel so good when people become friend in the session. So for me, it's very very beautiful feeling. Okay, they were not knowing, and then now suddenly they feel like sharing everything with each other. One session in just 2 hours. So I always tell them, yeah, imagine when you 2 hours you were with each other, you start feeling like this. So imagine if you have more time doing more things like that, more frequency, then
Yeah.
the how the relationship will build.
Yeah. Well, and the way that you're teaching is something that they can then replicate, because it's not like you sat there lecturing at them. You showed them how to do this so they can then do that for others. What would you if someone's listening to this podcast and they're really interested in what you do, where could they go to find out more about this work, whether to join some one of your game-a-thons, or maybe they want to do something similar to what you do? How could they learn more?
So one is it's very easy to find me. So you just Google my name, Manish Freeman. You will see my work, you will see my social media, or it's very easy to connect to me.
Okay.
And keep posting everything on Instagram or
Okay.
LinkedIn or Facebook, whatever I'm doing, I'm traveling, so people can connect easily. So that's the
Okay.
way. And people who want to learn these kind of things and all. So one thing is, it's not about that you need to learn from me only. If you want to learn from me, so you just get connect, and then if I'm coming to your city, so you might join, or and sometime I also organize if people want to learn, so special program for them, so they can participate. So that's one thing. Second, possibly I always say you don't need to find me all the time. You just need to start doing something. If you like my work, if you have heard this podcast, so you can just you I started with just 5 or 6 games in my journey. I was just knowing 5 6 games, and I just started doing these 5 6 game everywhere, wherever I was going. And suddenly, automatically, people also, I started learning from people also, and started observing, and then my library got bigger and bigger all the time. So you don't need to be like that. Okay, you need to just learn all these games. Otherwise, again, we'll be stuck in that space. No, okay, acha, Manish Freeman will teach us something. Then we're limited there. So the learning can be anywhere. You'll just Google, you'll find so many things. I haven't started posting games videos for till now, but I will be starting soon.
Oh,
So where
cool.
learn from YouTube, or it will be open source. It will just
Okay.
you just can learn. And because I always say whatever I do is copy left. There is no copyright. And I always say like you just take this intent also, because sometimes people like they get to know the games, but they forget the intent, like the kind of space I create or with
Yeah.
ease, make them feel nice. Sometimes like they become teacher again, do
Hmm.
that, and then they forget the intent.
Yeah. Well, I'll definitely in the show notes link all your socials so people can find you. I want to thank you so much for coming on the podcast today and sharing about the extraordinary work you're doing. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your journey.
Thank you so much for inviting me. And same, but I also felt nice to share, to see the journey also again.
If you've enjoyed today's discussion, I invite you to share this episode and subscribe to Able Pathways podcast on your favorite platform. Your support helps us to share these meaningful conversations with more people. Have thoughts about this episode or suggestions for future guests? We would love to hear from you. Leave us a comment or email us at hello@ablepathways.com. Until next time, I'm Annabelle, reminding you that there are infinite pathways to growth. May you travel yours with curiosity and courage.